I'm going to try this setup. I got a heater going right beside me here, so you'll hear that motor going. I'm going to try a rock to point video because I just found this in my stash in the landscaping here at the house. And I took one flake off of there, and it seems like it's a good material. So I'm kind of excited to break into this one. It's manageable, the size is pretty good, and it seems like it might nap well. So let's try I'll make an exception and try the rock to point for this one here. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, it looks like an amoeba chert, and some of these are very high quality. Let's hope there's no concrete in the middle. And I'll do as much as I can with the billet, and we'll see how it turns out. See how many of these little flakes I can save. It's an odd shape, so I won't be able to get long blades off of this easily. So might as well just try to make a biface out of it. If I can get a lot of blades and spalls off of it that are fairly large, I won't do this rock to point stuff with that particular piece. I have a lot of other rocks that fall into this category that are small and odd shaped. This is the kind that I can probably do the rock to point thing with. All right. But yeah, if I have a larger piece, I normally try to knock off spalls and use the spalls instead of trying to get a blade out of the large piece. Now these are good for, you know, bird point type arrowheads or true arrow points. And not much else. So that's why I make an exception. All right. I might actually, now that I think about it, I might actually just collect all of these flakes and sell them together with the finished biface. How's that? Yeah. Maybe I'll start doing that. I'll just put them all together in one package. Maybe not all the flakes, but most of the ones that are usable. Yeah, I might just start doing that. Okay, so what's the strategy on these? Well, to get the big long biface, it's just a matter of whittling away what's not the biface. That's pretty much it. Slowly whittle it away until you have just the biface, and then you can finish it out however you want. That was not that great when you got that step fracture there. I got a cut on my finger somehow, so I'm not able to deliver a full amount of force. That's probably why it just didn't go very far there. Yeah, as I was looking through my stuff in the yard, I think I cut my finger. I think that's where I got it, because I don't know where I got the cut from. It's not bad, it's just very irritating, and it touches right where I hold the billet. It's no big deal. Seems to be a lot of cortex embedded in that. In the face of the billet. Why is it important for it to be smooth? It helps to maintain the contact with the platform. That was a very, very hard strike, and I wanted to make sure it didn't grab and pull. I just wanted it to slide. Yeah, because if it grabs and pulls when I'm hitting the end, chances are it'll snap in half. Removing the delicate edges. Seems like a lot of activity for just one strike and one small flake, but I was actually removing a lot of weakness from around the whole thing. A lot of the weak edges. And I gotta make sure I remove the cortex. Yeah, very nice material. Very nice. So I'm not explaining this too much. I want to see how it sounds when the heater's on. I guess I should try to see how it sounds when the heater's on and I'm talking. That would probably be smarter. but I don't know what to talk about. It's pretty straightforward. This type of knapping is pretty straightforward. It's not the la 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 technique. It's just removing whatever is not the biface. It's not a centripetal flake removal technique. You know, centripetal. It's not one of those techniques. It's an opportunistic, just remove what's not the biface type of technique. Alright. Just a little ways to go. Yeah, I can't be doing that. I have to drive longer flakes than that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I didn't quite hit that platform correctly. I think that's what's going on. I'm just not hitting the platforms correctly. I'm hitting the striking surface. There's no real one right or wrong way to hit the striking surface. There's many different ways you can strike it. I'm just not striking it very well for the technique that I'm using. And I can't explain exactly why that is. Why I'm not doing it, and you know what in particular makes it proper. No, it's too hard to explain. A lot of these hits, I cannot be hitting too slowly. It's got to be quick. In my technique, since I don't have a lot of backup or support for the biface, I usually don't grip it really hard. I use the mass of the biface against itself. The resistance to the force is what I use against itself, and the faster I strike, the more it resists, so the easier I can remove flakes. Fast strikes require a lot of accuracy, which is difficult, both in terms of just the accuracy itself and also trying to be accurate while you're striking very fast. Two things that are difficult. Why is the accuracy important? Because I want to hit small platforms or small striking areas so I don't lose a lot of width. You know, I just want to hit a small platform without trying to develop a big area to strike. It preserves width. And I'm one of those guys that likes to preserve width throughout the whole process. In most cases, not in all cases, but in most cases I try to. Because width gives me opportunities where lack of width eliminates opportunities. I like to have opportunities because I knap opportunistically. You know, obviously, right? But yeah, you need something to strike, and if you whittle away the edge, you whittle away opportunities. Uh-oh, that took a bite. I can already see that bite. Let's try to get it to release fully. It didn't release fully. Okay, here we go. That's what I wanted. I wanted to get that turtle back off, but I didn't want to lose the width. So that's one of the drawbacks of using the direct percussion. Yeah. I probably could have done that with indirect and not have that problem. So I'm going to switch over to indirect percussion. Should have switched earlier. Why is it that the direct percussion did that? Because I think what happened is I struck too high up on the striking surface, where if I had more accuracy I wouldn't have that issue. Accuracy is important, and I was striking fast, like I was talking about earlier. Striking fast compounds the difficulty, because it's hard to be accurate when you strike fast, except when you're doing indirect percussion. I can strike very fast with the billet and not have to worry about accuracy. I'm still using the mass of the workpiece against itself. I'm always using the mass of the workpiece against itself with percussion. I don't have a lot of support. I don't like using support for the workpiece when I'm flint knapping. It's not necessary. It just adds to the bulk of whatever I have to carry around, you know, pads or whatever. Pads or little jigs to hold the pieces. It adds to the weight of my kit. And I don't think that's very efficient. And I don't think they carried around big kits back in the day. It doesn't make any sense. And yeah, I think they used to carry their kits with them. That way they don't have to spend time in the field looking to replace their kit. You don't have to spend time looking for hammerstones or that kind of thing. Out in the field, you bring your lightweight kit and you just go to work if you need to. Pack it up quickly, take it out, use it quickly. If you don't have a lot of stuff in your kit, you know, it's easier to keep track of what you have and you won't lose things. If you do lose something, you're not going to have to replace too much. If you lose the whole kit, it's not like you have to replace a whole bunch of stuff. There's many advantages to having a small kit and not a variety of pieces for this or that application. I think it's, you know, obviously more efficient to use tools that apply in a variety of situations. Versatile tools. And indirect percussion is, horizontal punch indirect percussion is one of those very versatile tools. Same with a billet. A swiping billet that removes flakes on the slide. It's not very big. It's not very heavy. Aluminum is the same weight by volume as hammerstone. Okay, so yeah, I couldn't be using hammerstone. What else can be used? You can use solid antler. You know, some of the antler on large deer, you know, if you take the beam and you include part of the, you know, the beam that comes out from the skull, you take some of that plus part of the skull, it's easy to get a 4-inch piece that's very solid. It's not going to be as heavy as the hammerstone, but it's going to be heavy nonetheless. And you can use it just like I'm using the aluminum. And yeah, you can remove flakes on the slide with a deer antler billet. Now I have a problem there. That flake wanted to dive in earlier, That's a problem. I have to make sure I remove that before I offer this for sale. Nobody likes that kind of thing in the bifaces. That might be an issue. I'm going to thin down the tip before I start striking a lot of flakes off the base there. I don't want excess weight on the tip. Just adds to the risk of breaking in half if I leave a weight on the tip, because I'm going to say it many times, because I use the weight of the workpiece against itself, so I'm, you know, shocking the piece, so to speak. I'm using its weight against itself, so I'm definitely shocking the piece. If I don't hit it just right, it shocks it quite a bit. If I hit it just right, it's not going to affect it very much. But there is a risk that I don't hit it right, and it will shock the piece. And if I got too much weight on the tip, it'll break in half. If I, you know, if it doesn't break in half because I got a thin tip, it's lucky. But, you know, it increases the luck if I got a less weight up here. I need to eliminate that lump. I don't really have a clear shot from this side. I have a clearer shot from this side, but only if I hit it right. I need to make sure I hit it right. I'm in the concrete layer. All the good stuff is right there in the pile. This is the middle of the nodule, so it's the concrete starting to get concretey. It's the concrete layer. You can kind of see all the splotches now from the inclusions of concrete, or spotches, or vugs. They're not too bad. I can nap through those. But like right here, I'm encountering some difficulty because of hard spot. If I had my cheater tools, I would just grind that down with a, you know, a grinder, rotary tool or something. Cheater tool. Yeah, that crack there is an issue. It is a problem, unfortunately. Okay. Problem because it's not only is it a bad step fracture, it's a hard concrete area. I don't see concrete there, but the flakes don't want to travel. I should say concrete like. Yeah, that area is hard. Not hard as in difficult, but just hard in as a hardness. I don't know how to explain. I'm not using the right words. Dense. It's a very dense right there. Inconsistent. Could take flakes from the other side and try to come in that way, but it's risky because of the overshot risk. But think I'm going to try that first, and if it doesn't work, I'm going to have to take more off of this edge and creep up on it and hit that. Yeah, unfortunately, and it started out really well. Let me think about this. Yeah, the only clear shot is from the side, and it's not going to take it all off. There's going to be some left. I don't want to hit directly from the base into that area, but I might have to. I don't really see a good opportunity this way. It's too long and it risks the overshot. I am gonna hit the base. Just very snappy hit. What that did was it helped to create a ridge here. This little flake removal helped to create a ridge, and hopefully when I hit that, it'll travel. Hit it really hard. Instead of fanning out, it just kind of sort of tried to fan out, but it didn't really. Yeah, it just kind of skirted the top of the step fracture. So I got to remove more of the edge, but it doesn't look too bad. I think it doesn't run that deep. I'm going to prepare the edge for a strike. And if I can't get it with this method, I'm going to just remove more of the edge and then do a direct attack. I'm removing some off the other side so I can have a better lower edge to attack that step fracture. But I'm gonna damage control that step fracture on there first. I'm removing a flake from the other side. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't. If I leave it in, it'll be stronger. For now, if I leave that for now, it'll be stronger. Yeah. I'll leave it in for now. I'll try to get rid of that step fracture by hitting this way into the piece. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get it unless I get right up next to this step fracture. Alrighty. And it is a step fracture because it's only partially detached. It's not a hinge where the termination is just very abrupt. It's a step fracture because it's not fully detached. There is a crack underneath of that step. There's a little crack underneath the step fracture, right underneath, right there. If I hit on it and try to open it up, I'm hoping it'll just pop that out. Yeah, it popped it out, but I still have an issue. You can see it better there. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. Yeah, it's unfortunate because it just keeps harder. It keeps getting harder and harder to remove flakes because I'm in the center of the nodule. Okay. I think I can get it from that side. I'm going to shoot a flake across, all the way across. Or I'm going to attempt. I didn't do anything. I hit that really, really hard. I'm right on concrete. Yep. That figures. That figures. All right, let's try it again. It's not impossible to drive through concrete, but in this case, it is not possible. All right. Flakes are not traveling. Nope. Not traveling. That's unfortunate. Yep. Almost. It's not too bad, but I have to take a big risk. Yeah. I have to thin from the base. It's always a big risk to do that. And I'm creating an island. I think I can clear off that island from the side, but for now, I have to continue to try to clean that up from the base. Very risky. It wants to do everything except what it's supposed to do. See how thin that base is getting? It's getting a little bit too thin. I mean, I suppose it's good, but it's aggravating because the thinner it gets, the less options I have. I can't do anything about it. Yeah. Yeah, neither side is responding. I'm not getting flake travel now on the other side either. We'll see what happens. I know I shouldn't switch midstream, but I'm gonna switch to aluminum. Try a couple of hits and see how that feels. It's not too bad. What I was hoping for is, I think I did achieve it. Hit really, really hard and not smash the edge and not take out a bite. I think I achieved that. But they didn't travel far enough to get rid of the island there. But they did travel halfway or a little bit more. Here we go, damage control. Flakes are not traveling. Okay, here we go. Make it or break it. I think that's it. I'm not going to try to mess with it too much more. Okay. So yeah, I'm just going to trim it up and try to regularize it. I just installed this a little step fracture right there. None of these step fractures are really pickable, but I'm going to try anyway. Yeah, there we go. Good. I didn't expect that to be that easy. It is still a little lumpy in the front there. Still have some lumps. I don't know. I said I was going to do rock to point, right? I think I said I was going to do rock to point. Yeah. So I should just finish this out as an agate basin or angostura. Yeah. All right, just keep it rolling. Yeah, I won't include all those flakes down there in this little package, but a lot of them can be used for small arrow points. I thought it might have been more translucent than that. It's all right. I don't know. I think the literature says that these bases are not thinned on the agate basin. Oh well. Why did I take my glove off? I don't feel comfortable with it on for this delicate procedure. This next series of flakes needs to be very pretty. You might say, in that case, you should always take the glove off. Always. Don't you always want it to be pretty? Nope, I don't always want it to be pretty. Sometimes all I want is just to make a biface. I'll make it pretty later. The initial setup is quickly done with expedient methods. You know, how fast I can do it is important to me. I'm trying to be persnickety like this. I'm running into some difficulty. Yeah. Those step fractures means I'm trying to do too much with too little. Yeah, too much with too little. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do smaller flakes. Nope. This is going to have to be big, bold flakes. I'm not able to remove the mass that I want to with small flakes. You know, I can't be whittling it down little by little with nice pretty flakes. It's not cooperating. And I may have messed it up completely. All right. Much better. Looks pretty bad. Come on. Oh, come on. It's not that bad. You shouldn't be misbehaving that badly. What if it's my technique? Yeah, could be that too. It's all damage control at this point, just to get rid of the step fractures. But yeah, the more refined the point and the less step fractures, the more waste you are going to create. It's same back in the day. It's no different back in the day. The prettier the point, the more waste it took to make that point. Either in the experience of the napper and all the other things that he napped to get to that level of experience where he doesn't make step fractures, or he just keeps napping and napping and napping until he makes a point that he's happy with and discards the others. You know what I mean? That is really tough stone right now. I was going to say on that side, but not just that side. All the way across. I feel it's tough all the way across. Not just on that one side. Not just on this one side. I have some other amoeba cherts that I will be napping, and hopefully I found some smaller ones. Hopefully they're not this bad as far as difference in consistency. It's not that bad really, but it's just a big difference in consistency, and it just kind of messes up your groove when you're trying to get a consistent result with inconsistent material. There's a lump right there. I think Angosturus or Agate Basin had a very consistent cross section, so I don't think they had many lumps in them. Come on. You're tough, but you're not that tough. Yeah, I'm having to hit so hard that I'm cracking the edge. But I've got no choice. All right, what do you think? Just finish up with pressure? I'm getting tired of using percussion on this particular piece. If I run into a situation where I can use the percussion to even it out or to do damage control, that's when I'll do it. But let's try finishing this out with pressure, and then we'll call it good. pretty tough. Come on. All right. You want to go to steel? We'll go to steel. I don't know what the average base width is for these. Maybe there is no good average. I get a feeling it's around 1 inch or a little bit over, just like Clovis. And the widest part of the point is above the center, right? The widest part is above. If you draw a line in the center across this way, the widest point is above that. So I gotta constrict the stem a little bit more. I think some of these were heat treated, if I'm not mistaken. Well, maybe many of these were heat treated. And this is a transitional paleo, right? So they knew about heat treating. Not that it surprises me. But just another FYI. These things, I think they say that these were heat treated in many cases. How do they know? Because of the change in coloration of the stone from where they got it from. They know where the sources were, but the color is not the same. And so they tried some heat treating experiments, and voila, the color changes match the heat treating experiments. Alright, so is there an opportunity for me to remove some more damage control flakes? Yeah, probably. Some of these agate basins were really pretty. I had to grind it a lot because it's very tough. I need to hit it really, really hard. And if I don't grind it, I'm going to take a bite out of the edge or cause some other nasty damage. These things are actually not that difficult to make. It's just the fact that I'm trying to damage control everything. It's taking me a long time. Not good. This piece is going to end up being quite thin. Were these things beefy up on the tip? I don't know. I wish I knew. I don't know that much about these. I'm just going to assume that yes, they are beefy at the tip. Yeah, beefy, that's a Flintknapping term for sure. Yep. Just a little bit more. Being very careful because famous last words, just a little bit more. When you say just a little bit more, that's the famous last words. Yeah, that's what I get for grinding it down so much. But it's worth it. Yep, I don't care if I have to keep pushing on the same spot over and over again. Try for that. Should I, or does it look okay? Not too noticeable. I'd rather not go for it, but if I have to, I will for the video. It looks a little bit better. I don't know, if I remove that lump, it's going to be a little bit out of balance. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, good enough. Alright, so now I just pressure flake it. Yeah, I'm not going to push my luck. Alright, so okay, I'm going to go into the zone and pressure flake the rest of this. Nice raw chert. I say nice now that it's been tamed. It was not that easy, but it's not bad. It's not bad as far as chert goes. The outside crust is better than the inside. Oh yes. The outer skin, I should say. The skinning flakes are better than the interior. Better quality. So I'll include all the flakes in with this package. The flakes in small spalls. Come on. I gotta sharpen the whole edge. Well, not the whole edge. This is a little bit different than sharpening because all I'm doing is making it more robust. I'm not really sharpening it per se because I'm not doing the hollow ground effect. I'm just trying to regularize it so that when I grind it, it grinds down evenly. The more regular the flaking is on the edge, the more easily it grinds down to an even appearance. An even and smooth appearance. Because apparently they were very concerned about the appearance of these. From every picture that I've seen, these are very well made. Probably why they heat treated some of these, just so it'd be easier to make them look pretty. That's what I think. Now that I think about it. Who knows? Could be just poor quality material that needed some heat, or it would make you miserable. And the design just looks pretty. It's actually very utilitarian. You know, even flaking can strengthen the point if it's nice and consistently flaked. It does lend some strength to the point. In my opinion. Yep. Or maybe it's a combination of both. Maybe they wanted both nice looking and strong. Yeah. Combination. Not just one thing. Everything. Together. Pretty color from the heat treat. Nice even flaking for a little bit of strength. Well made because they want it to look pretty, aesthetically pleasing in shape as well as color. Or maybe none of those. It just works really well for their hunting technique. Yeah. I just took flakes off the base to make it symmetrical in the side view, not to thin the base, but just, you know, to make it look kind of symmetrical because it's a little bit uneven. I tried to take some flakes off to make it more even, but it wasn't really necessary. Alright, this is where I sharpen it up here. So I gotta try to ensure that the edge is thin. I already ground it down earlier. There's already some abrading going on. It's going to be a little bit jaggedy because I'm not going to abrade it again. If I were to abrade it again, I could make a nice clean pass without too much jaggedy edges, without too many jaggedy places along the edge. But since I'm not going to, I want it to be very, very sharp. I'm just going to remove the thick spots. Come on. I can't be dropping it. I'm going to leave the edge jaggedy, but not too jaggedy. Yeah. Still got thick spots. I'm trying to sharpen it without step fracturing it, and I'm leaving in some thick spots. When I do that, so I don't know. All right, other side. That heater's working pretty good. I'm already getting hot. Or just the pressure's on and I'm starting to sweat. Trying to sharpen this thing. It's not the most cooperative stone, so I'm not getting flakes exactly the way I want to come off. I would like them to come off with a little bit more of a narrow flake. As you can see, I'm not getting any travel from the pressure flaking. Nope. The pressure flakes are not traveling, so I'm not getting these nice, pretty narrow flakes. Now down here is a different story. I just need to shape it. Don't need to sharpen it. It's a step fracture right there, but I'm not going to try to get rid of that one. There's also one right here. I'm going to try to pick those out in a minute. But yeah, I'm just going to leave it the way it is as far as the edge goes. It feels very sharp, even though it's kind of jaggedy, not very straight. It does feel pretty sharp. Come on. Alright, let's see if I can remove the step fracture. Just so it looks pretty. Yep. This might be too shallow to get in there. I'm gonna watch my finger. It doesn't get cut on that edge, but yeah, I'm gonna leave that. Whoever the next owner is can probably pop that out with a method better than this method. All right. On the real ones, I don't know which way the striations go. I don't know if they go across this way or longitudinally with the in line with the point length. So they could have just abraded it like this way. A little bit of the surface as well around the edge. Because if you're wrapping it tightly with cordage that can easily be cut, sometimes just beyond the edge, down on the surface, there are, little protrusions that stick out that can cut the binding. So I napped some of the surface too, and I think I've felt that on some paleo points. It feels polished all the way around, up and around and over the edge. Not just the edge itself, but up and around over the top of the edge. All right, so it's fatter up here above the center line than it is anywhere else. Okay. Agate basin. I'm going to call it an agate basin, and I'm going to include as many of these flakes that are seemingly worthwhile with this particular package. Yeah. Alrighty. I should probably get a better background, huh? Alright, so yeah, Agate Basin or Angostura. Probably just Agate Basin. Angostura has more of a pretty flake pattern, I think. Alrighty.